The top mistakes that entrepreneurs make. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa, and I am with the marketing team at IdeaPros. And as you know, we come every Friday to give you the best information possible on how to run your business better, how to market your business, how to all the steps between idea, napkin idea, all the way to a product or app that's launched. Today, I wanted to cover some of the common mistakes that people make because I just don't want you guys to make those mistakes. That's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna go with my heavy hitter, or well, one of my heaviest hitters. The first three are my biggest that I think people make, and Fred he actually corroborated. Anyway, on our meeting last night, we did pitchcraft, which is a way to pitch and practice how you get investors, practicing your pitch to get investors. But these three came up several times. The number one thing I think people do is that they don't get to know their customer first, or they don't define their customer first. So they tend to say, oh, I think it's this person, but they don't have any evidence that that person actually needs this item. And Fred will say the number one mistake that companies make, that businesses make, is that they don't have a product that the market wants. There's no demand for what they have. So I think my number one is not defining your customer first. It always starts with your target audience and understanding them. Number two, trying to market to everybody. I hear this a lot. Like, Tessa, I just don't want to reduce my audience. Like, that's that many people less that I can reach. I want to help everyone. I can help everyone. If your audience is too broad, I love to think of this analogy, and I really don't. I think it was Kai that told me this, but if you're in a stadium and you're trying to get everyone's attention and you're like, hey, listen to me, it's a lot harder than if you say, hey, you with the red pants. Now that person who's wearing the red pants knows who they are, and they know that you're talking to them. So market to the people. So you will dilute marketing effectiveness if you're trying to do everyone, because your message won't be so clear. So if I say, hey, you with the red pants, now you know who I'm talking to. And if that's you with the red pants, now you're paying attention more, and it's more relevant because I'm talking about red pants and how to care for them. I don't know what that would be. But number three, focusing on what's in it for me. So really, our marketing messaging has to be around speaking from the perspective of the target audience. A lot of us throw benefits and we throw features at people, I should say, like a fan has 3 speeds. That's not why the people care. The people care because they have adjustable cooling options, or they can control their environment. So it's not that it has these features, it's that it's going to change their life in this way. So make sure that you're focusing on what's in it for them. What's the change? What's the transformation? People buy transformations. They do not buy products. They buy what that product is going to give them. So, pedicures. Okay, you don't buy a pedicure just because you want to take care of your feet. You buy a pedicure so your feet look cute and people love them. Whatever that might be, you got to think about it from their perspective and really think, how is this from their perspective? Take yourself out of your shoes entirely. The sales conversation, you've got to step away from that and really see what it is that they want and the transformation they're going to get, and show them how they're going to get it. All right, so we have the next one, which is number 4, and I'm going to have to do this math in my head because I wrote these down really quickly. Actually, if you're watching, I usually am live with you. I am live in the chat on this one. I just have to be in the car during the time that we are live. So I'm here, but I'm not here. So number 4 is lack of market research. And I see this a lot. People just do a quick search on Google, and then they say, oh my gosh, there's so many people that need this. A quick Google search is not a market research. So you really do want to understand the customer's needs and the demand and the market for what you have, understanding the competitors in the space. So really, this one's huge. I should have probably put this on number 1, because this is, again, if you go to market without a demand, then you're not going to have a business at all. But I'm going to hit home with this because it goes with the first three. Like, you really need to understand your audience, and then you do the market research, and then you dive into the available market and all of the other TAM, SAM, SOM, all those fun things. But it really, if you aren't belly to belly with your customer doing focus groups or talking to them, you really haven't gotten a full perspective for what it is that's going to help them. And if you don't have that, you can't do your marketing messaging, you can't attract, you can't speak to the person with the red pants. So all of that to say, as a side note, if you need help with the market research, put market research in the chat. We have several videos about market research, and then we also have a product that would be great for you because it's hard to do. I've done it for other companies. I mean, I've taught people how to do market research. We also have we've used a solution that we always go to the internet, right? Now we're asking ChatGPT, which is fine. And you can, use AI to look at some of this, but you really need to dive into this information and make sure it's accurate. If you are using AI, remember it hallucinates sometimes. So make sure that you're doing your research on that and get belly to belly, as someone had told me, and actually I'll draw the diagram for you someday. But this is pretty funny. Okay, so let's see, that would be 5. Number 5 is insufficient capital, and that is exactly why we were doing our Pitchcraft session last night. It was great. We had some amazing comments on how helpful it is to have someone outside perspective, and then learning what to do in these presentations and kind of pitfalls and everything for investors. But lack of capital will take your business down. You cannot grow. You cannot grow without capital. And, the more you grow, the more capital you need just to sustain that growth. And so insufficient capital is one of the most common things that people run into. And if you are there where you're like, man, I need more money so I can market, I need more money so I can get more followers, whatever that is, that's a common problem. You will always be funding. So we don't have the next date for the Pitchcraft event, but it is a workshop. It was a little bit after because they just didn't want to leave. And if you were at the Pitchcraft, let everyone know in the chat if that was a good fit for you. And if you learned something, we had a lot of people that texted me after and said, hey, this was awesome. I'm so glad to be in the room with y'all. But insufficient capital. So put Pitchcraft in the chat if you want to know about our next date on that. And this number 6 is one of my, I wouldn't say it's a weakness, but I think most of us fall victim to this. So poor time management as a CEO, as a business owner, we tend to work in our business as opposed to on our business. And we say, oh, it's okay because I have very few people. So it's okay for me to do this. It's okay for me to spend this much time on this task, when really in reality, you're not spending your time well. If Odin's in the chat, he helped me a lot with logging. It was like a 15-minute log, and you logged what you were doing for every 15 minutes. And it's amazing once you see how much time you're wasting when you slot something in and you are effective at it. You can do it in 15 minutes as opposed to an hour. And I know there's, basically it's going to take up the time that's available if you don't control it. So I think that's absolutely true. Poor time management is one of the pitfalls for sure, mistakes that people make when they're running their own business. Now, the next one, so that would be 5, 6, 7. I'm on 7. So ineffective marketing strategy is the next one. And let me just tell you, marketing strategies are an ever-changing thing in your business. It's something you're always going to be working on. I find people say, I have a marketing strategy they looked at 5 years ago, and they're still trying to do things based on that marketing strategy from 5 years ago, when times have changed, technology has changed, everything is evolving all the time. So if you're not looking at your marketing strategy, not judging it immediately, so you can't do something here and say, oh, it didn't work after a week. That's not how marketing works. It is, it's a curve. So it's compounding its effectiveness. But you can look at your quarters and say, okay, what did work? What isn't working? What do I need to change? And really staying on top of trends in a healthy and productive way. You don't always want to be on the next trend immediately, because you're going to waste your time. You're going to spin your wheels and wonder, why did I went down the shiny object path. That's really what it comes down to. A lot of times business owners are actually getting redirected down, hey, you need a chat bot, you need this, you need that. And I'm guilty of it. Look, I did a chat bot for probably 8 hours straight, maybe 10, and it epically failed. It did nothing the way it should have. It was totally miscommunicating to people. And I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying that 8 hours that I spent trying to go down this shiny object path was a huge waste of time. So to some extent, you want to be evaluating it and surround yourself with people who have done these things. Like, marketing experts are a must in your team, because you don't want to try these things on your own. Trust me, you don't want to be the first person or the only person in your circle that's trying this thing. You want someone who says, oh yeah, I did that, and you know what, this one doesn't work, but this one does. So make sure you surround yourself by awesome marketing people, and look at your results on a quarterly basis, not a day-to-day, but be aware of changing things that are changing. And when you made changes, a lot of people will they'll say, hey, I know, here's my marketing, flow chart. Basically, this is how I'm doing it. This is my results. So there was a spike here, and I'll say, what did you do on that date? Oh man, I don't know. Write down when you do campaigns, write down when you start ads, write down when you're doing specials, because all of these things, I worked for a really amazing marketing company, and this woman was just brilliant. So in the back end of the reports, it could overlay what things you were doing. So you just entered in, hey, sent email campaign. It took 2 seconds. But when you looked at the overlay, you could put the overlay on top of the chart, and you would see, oh, that was definitely from this Black Friday sale or whatever it might be, right? So write down so that you can see what is working and what isn't working. And at minimum, please look at your marketing strategy. If you are a partner, IdeaPros partner, let me know if you are not sure if your marketing strategy is working for you, because you can't just sit on it and say it's good. And you have to do something. A marketing strategy is nothing if you aren't taking action on it. So just having it there, sorry guys, it's like a paperweight. It's just holding things. That's all. It's like not going to do. It won't move you anywhere. You have to actually implement things within that marketing strategy for it to work. All right, 3 more, guys. So neglecting customer feedback. This one, it's not just reviews. It's not, if you're saying, hey, I have no negative reviews, it's not just about reviews. Of course, you should always keep an eye on your reviews, and you should be always looking to get feedback. So feedback, ask for feedback as opposed to reviews, and start in a safe space. So you all know I've talked about this before, but Go High Level has that ability to have reviews come in, and if it scores low, it's going to go to you so you can address it. If it scores high, it's going to go straight to the platforms. This is a way for you to filter out and address problems, because most people are not going to tell you until it's too late. In fact, they may not even they may not go and leave a review. They just say it verbally to people. So you have to think about, like, how do I get feedback? How do I encourage it? And how do I keep understanding my customers better? And a random call is great, just to say, hey, I just wanted to check in with you. How's everything going? Like, you would be shocked at how many people I've had, hey, you know what, that's so sweet, thank you. And usually if it wasn't going good, they're going to tell you, and they'll tell you because you want to fix it, right? But a lot of times they just actually, improved my relationship with them by calling them to make sure that everything is okay. Just the fact that I care and I try is going to make a better bond in that relationship. But keep your eye out for things where people are commenting. So there's listening. You could do Google alerts. You can keep an eye on your business and how people are reviewing it. You could search on social media and, keep an eye on what's out there. People will always come to you. They tend to talk behind your back, unfortunately. Number 9, scaling too quickly. Fred definitely covered this in our session last night too. You have to balance rapid growth with, so let's see, being inefficient is really common when you're in growth mode because you've done something a certain way and now you're getting bigger. So you're just going to keep doing it that way, but in a bigger scale, right? So instead of looking at how can we do this better, I'm a huge, I'm a huge supporter of looking at your operations, having processes, but telling your team that, hey, if you see a way for us to improve this, let us know, because we don't want to be wasting time. Like just doing a task is not our goal. Our big picture goal is to be able to reach this income with, reduce costs, reduce amount of time, but also, maximize our effectiveness, maximize our team happiness. Like you have to empower your team to be able to make these awesome changes. And I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Sophia and Danny, who are IdeaPros operations team members that have been amazing at building and seeing opportunities and helping the team to adjust and to handle change. And that is really important when you're in a team. You don't just demand change, you partner for change. So thank you, Sophia and Danny, for all that you do. Number 10, inability to adapt. And this is along the same lines as the other one. You have to stay flexible. You have to see when things are changing. Of course, during COVID, there was a big shift, Airbnb, all these things that had to change. And so I think if you were in that industry at the time, you had to see, okay, what can we do right now? What does it look like, right? Because things change so quickly, and you had to be kind of forward thinking. So along with inability to adapt, I want to say that you have to see beyond your current situation. So your ability to adapt is going to be based on identifying trends and also seeing opportunity in the trends. I met with Salome, was this amazing speaker. I still want to get her on IdeaPros, but she basically teaches you how to look at the forward trends. So you're ahead of the game. And if there's a demand for something in the future, that you're already setting yourself up to be in line for that. So if you just think about it, a couple of years ago, AI has been around for a while, guys. So not new, but it's not new to the mass public. But if you saw something coming down the pipeline, if you saw this, you could have been in that space early, right? So we just want to keep our eyes on the horizon. We want to keep looking at how we can improve and evolve, and don't get so attached to your business. And this is really hard because I'm a business owner too. So you get so attached to what you've created that you cannot pivot. So you have this idea for a product, you tell everybody how to build it. This is exactly how it's going to go. But people say, hey, you know what, this could be better if, and you say, nope, I want this. That inability to see opportunities, sometimes just because we're so in love with our idea, we've become so passionate about it that we can't get outside of our own heads. So big picture, guys, I hope that those were helpful for you and that you can take a little something from this. But if you let me know in the chat if there's anything that really stood out to you from today's chat, or if there's anything you really want to learn about. Obviously, we do these insider circles. We do these Friday lives to help you. So let me know in the chat if there's a topic that you'd really like for us to cover. We are here live at noon every Friday that I can be, sometimes recorded, but I am live with you in the chat. But if you have any topics that you want us to cover, let us know. Hit the bell to get notifications when we go live, and we'll see you all next week. And have a great Thanksgiving. I will be, I'm sure, Oh, I think I'm going to be on next week. I'm pretty sure we're not going to have to do a recording, but I will let you know. I'd love for you all to say what you're thankful for. If there is anything, if you want to send a video in, I know that's super short notice. I've been asking a couple people also, so we might have that video of thankful in your business, in your life. But if you want to send that over to me, you can. You can just tag me in a video that you have on your post. You can tag IdeaPros. What are you thankful for in your business? And we might make a compilation including your video. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you all next week. Have a blessed week. Bye.